Hello there, Scott here. Scotty here. Whatever. So when I took on this task of doing this video, it's something I'm putting off, finally I said, you have to do it. You have to do it. Why not? Michael have issues. It's only 7 episodes. How bad could it be? It was a slog to get through. This was like pulling teeth for me to. I kept begging for it to end because it was so bad. Oh my God. I did not expect this to be so bad. Let me get the chair and we'll sit down and we'll have a talk about it. Let me get my slippers on. Everything. Okay. Michael and Michael have issues. Well, they certainly do. But anyway, back in 2009, this came out mid-July of 2009, okay? Around the same time, another short-lived series came out, Secret Girlfriend, and I loved that show. Still do. I just rewatched that recently. It's still great. That lasted 6 episodes, and when I watched that, I felt like it went too fast. Or I was like, oh, I'm already at episode 6. This is 7 episodes, and it felt like forever. I mean, it just felt like forever to get done. So, this is around the time I was first getting cable, extended cable, digital cable, you know what I mean? And so, that's when I was getting it, and so I actually heard about this on, I used to watch The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, because I had basic cable. So I would record the episodes of The Late Late Show and watch them the next day after work. Come home, have my lunch, watch Craig Ferguson, which I should go back to doing. I'll just watch an episode on, because they have full-ish episodes online on YouTube. You can watch full episodes. I actually went back and I watched the segment with Michael Ian Black. They barely talk about the show. What it is I didn't realize this episode was loaded, man, because it starts with, okay, every once in a while, Craig Ferguson would start with a musical number with puppets and everything, and he did a lip-sync puppet dance to White Lines by Duran Duran. And that is just bang. I was listening to it earlier. In fact, I was trying to find, I looked it up on my phone on YouTube and I found it and I clicked on the episode and this came on. And then I put the song on my earbuds when I was vacuuming the living room. The last episode, I was done after the episode before that. We'll get to it. So I just sort of powered through, distracting myself. But yeah, it's got that. And then there's another guy. Henry Winkler shows up as I was scrolling through. But then you have his interview. You got a performance from Will Dailey, which I'm going to watch. And I told myself, that is your prize for sitting through all this and reviewing this show, is I get to watch that performance after this. You have to wait till after you're done with your review, and then you can watch it. Now, this won't be up till late tonight, maybe even tomorrow, depending on how long it takes to upload, because I gotta watch something on the Xbox, and my Wi-Fi is weird, so if I'm uploading something, sometimes it does just buffer. I'm trying to stream something, so yeah. But also, I might forget. But anyway, so Michael Ian Black, first of all, Craig comes out and he's like, diggity dang dang. He talks about how, he jokes about. I'm still out of breath from that or whatever. And this is Michael Ian Black was like the third person he's on, because he had Henry Winkler, then his first guest, and now him. And so he's like, he's got a new show on Comedy Central, where they're allowed to actually be funny, unlike here on this show. And I just went, so after I watched it, I'm like, yeah. So he brings out Michael Ian Black, and they barely talk about the show. As he shows a clip, it's not in the episode on YouTube because copyright reasons. But he gets there. They talk a little bit about Grandmaster Flash, who sang the original version of the song, even though it was the Duran Duran version of the song. I don't know. And then they make jokes. Oh, hey, was that your real hair in that there sketch? Because it's the pledge sketch, which we'll get to. And he's like, no, that's something called a wig in showbiz. Oh yeah, we don't have that hair. They joke back and forth. And then they start talking about this jacket he's wearing that had Bill Murray's name is on it. Apparently, he got it because he was giving it to his brother-in-law, who's a Minnesota Saints fan. And then he saw it was on. He's like, no. Apparently, it belongs to Craig Kilborn, who was the host before Craig Ferguson. So I'm surprised they keep it going. Find another Craig to host, but it's James Corden. He's ending his run. Just ended his run. He was on his last run. I think he's done. I think, but anyway. So after that, it's kind of just Michael Ian Black. He's like, hey, you should come on the show again. We haven't invited me. I just did. And okay, how about House Friday? We could never do that. Oh, crap. So he says he's gonna come back on Friday. Punchline to this joke. It gets to Friday, and the episode starts with Michael Ian Black fake calling to tell him because it's basically this. The phone rings. He picks up this. You hear Michael Ian Black on the other side talking to him. Oh, hey, I can't come in. I got stuff to do, whatever. And he's like, it's not even connected to anything. How did it? That's the joke with that phone. But yeah, that's basically the interview. They barely talk about the show. They talk about the complete series of the sketch comedy show he and Michael Showalter were on before it. But they barely talk about the show. It's him and Michael Showalter. The basic of the show is supposed to be a sketch comedy show with him and Michael Showalter. Michael have issues. The issue is that it goes way beyond that and it doesn't work. So it's a sketch comedy show, essentially, where the two main, Michael and Michael, introduce, talking on stage, they talk about stuff, they go into a sketch. However, they also decided it has to be behind the scenes thing where not only is it the show, but it's about making the show and the problems they have, their issues, so to speak. And look, first episode started off okay. Because it shows that Michael Ian Black and Michael Showalter, they have troubles getting along. And Michael Ian Black is framed as the bad guy because of certain things going on. So first episode is about this intern named Greg. And Greg's there. He's writing an article about the show for his school newspaper, which F for that, man. I would fail him. It's like, who cares about this stupid show? But he's writing about this show. And he's wanted to interview them. And Michael Ian Black's like, I'm not going to do that. And Michael was like, I'll do that. No, I think both say you're not doing it. Well, I can do it. No, I think we should both not do it. No, I can do it. And Showalter ends up doing the interview. Michael Ian Black gets jealous, and so he invites Greg to dinner at his house. And this is where, to me, the whole good guy, bad guy concept gets thrown out the window because Michael Showalter decides he's going to be a child about this and drive all the way to Michael Ian Black's house and challenge him to a fight. Michael Ian Black. And that's what I just went, okay. And then just the rest of these episodes are just unlikable to each other. Look, you can have a show where people have problems with each other and come back towards the end, but they have to be likable. Look at Keenan and Kel, Drake and Josh. Duo shows where people have problems and issues with each other, but they come back at it. These two are unlikable as hell, and you can't have a show with two unlikable leads. It doesn't work. And the comedy stuff they come up with. So, like I said, this first episode, they are reading over the script for the intro. And they talk about, nowadays, teenagers, they're taking the pledge, abstinence pledge. And Michael Showalter's line is, oh, that's so lame. How can anybody not want to get laid? And I'm like, okay, that line works. I mean, it's teenagers, but it still works as a funny line. He's like, I don't like that line. I actually approve of this pledge they're taking, and I want to make a joke about lemon pledge. And so I like lemon pledge on my tabletops. And I'm like, that's not even funny. And then they cut to the actual scene where it's supposed to be the actual show, and they put it in the show, and I'm like, no way a joke that lame can get through the room. Like, it's just like, I'm going to change that. And someone will be like, no, that's not funny. Go back to the original line. And it does that from time to time. I think it's the only time they read from the script and it transitions, but they go back and forth. There's an episode where they get involved in one of their staff members' love life. Turns out she's a freak. Where that goes, and then there's one where Michael and Black, the Michaels, are trying to one up each other because apparently Michael Ian Black is lazy and makes Showalter do all the work. So when Showalter is filming, he is directing this skit they're doing where Michael Ian Black is running with a bunch of zombies, like running track, like a triathlon with, or decathlon, whatever, with triathlon, whatever, like a marathon. There it is, a marathon with zombies, and he keeps making them go back and do stuff. He's like, he gets done, he gets the scene done, it's done right, and Michael Showalter's like, no, it's not good enough. We gotta go back and do it again. So they go back and do it again. It's done again, right? No, I didn't like that one. Let's go back and do it again. By this point, Michael Ian Black is dehydrated. He's not doing good. He falls down, and from heat exhaustion and thirst, basically. And they're like, hey, can we get Michael Ian Black some water? And Showalter's like, nope, no water. Okay, Showalter says no water. I'm like, who would listen to that? And so Michael's and Black's like, okay, I can do it again. And he tries to do it again, and he ends up puking and ends up in the freaking hospital. He's dehydrated, basically, from keep on doing it again. And then they go to visit in the hospital, and Michael Ian Black, to his credit, is trying to get out of going to work the next day. So, I'm going to be here for a few days. So, oh, where's your wife? Huh? Your wife, she should be here. No. And then he reached the chart. He's like, oh, you're dehydrated. You're thirsty, basically. So, see you tomorrow. I'm like, I'd be like, no, fuck you. You did this to me. I'm taking a few days off. I understand the whole point was to get back at him for making Showalter to do the brunt of the work. But almost killing this guy from dehydration is not the way to do it. And it escalates later. The next episode, there's this thing where they go on a trip. I think this is the same episode, actually. They go on this trip, maybe no. I think it's the next episode. Whatever. Where they go on this trip to do a stand-up routine at this college. And Michael Ian Black considers himself the headliner, and Showalter the opener. But Showalter wants Michael Black to go on first. They agree, and he comes out and he goes, I'm going to introduce you to the opening act for to come out and get ready for me, the headliner, Michael Showalter. And he comes out and he spends the whole time up there, the whole 90 minutes, whatever, up there doing it, and they don't have time for Michael Ian Black. And then so Black gets pissed and goes back to the hotel room and just shreds up all of Showalter's clothes. And Showalter shows up. He's like, hey, I'm going back to the hotel. I'm going to go to sleep. Just be quiet when you come in. So he comes in with the woman that he was with at the party when he left, and they hook up. And then they do the joke where she comes in and Michael Ian Black goes into the bathroom. I have to say Michael Ian Black because I have to differentiate them. I can say Michael, you know what I mean? But he ends up sleeping in the bathroom because they're too loud having sex. And then she goes in the next morning and starts peeing in the toilet, which is weird enough. And then she starts taking a shit. And that's supposed to be funny. And then there's a whole conversation. Hey, have you seen Mike? No, he must have left early. Then Showalter walks in and goes, hey, Mike, did you just in my clothes? I'm like, you knew he was in there. Why'd you ask her? I don't know. And there's a whole thing where something's going on with Showalter's house, and he has to stay with Michael Ian Black the next episode. And he kicks him out of his house. Like, he kicks Showalter out of his house because he gets a little too wild during a game they were doing. I don't know. He kicks him out of the house, forces him to leave. And so he hires Kumail Nanjiani, who has a role in this show for some freaking reason, to poop in a bag and leave it on the front porch. But he poops in the bag right in front lawn. I don't know. That ends up with I don't know. And the final episode has to do with the guys are stealing stuff from another sketch show. And to get back at them, to get back at Michael, they have them come in and do motion capture where they just take their heads and put them on their crotches because they're called dickheads. Yeah. And this is supposed to be to the audience because we're watchers of this show. We're supposed to be mad at these guys for doing it, but to be honest, they deserved it. And the sketches. Talk about the sketches. Well, I already told you about the pledge sketch where, their teens are taking the pledge. But the joke here is that the two people taking the pledge are a straight girl and a gay man. How is that funny? Yes, the joke is, oh, she, obviously, uh, she was trying to do something with him and he wasn't doing it. And it's like, oh, I was never interested in her until she suggested the pledge. So obviously, he doesn't feel anything for her, but she suggested the pledge. So he's going along with it because he knows that wasn't going to happen anyway. Funny, I guess. And there's other stuff. I don't know. The sketches are unremarkable. They're not memorable anyway. They're stupid. I really don't care. They're not funny at all. This was it's. I wondered before I go back to this why I remember Secret Girlfriend so much and not this so much, because the show sucks. I mean, it sucks. It's terrible. I'm not surprised it was canceled at all. It deserved to be canceled. This was terrible. The show they were on before, it lasted 2 years, but 4 seasons, and to me, that feels like they had a certain amount of episodes and cut them into individual parts so that they could say they were seasons. Because if it's the same writing team, I don't think that's funny. I don't know. The thing I wanted to focus on this when I first started the show was if we should bring it back or not. I just started talking about the show, and then lately I wanted to try to go back to that premise of should it come back, and my answer with this is absolutely fucking not. The show is terrible. You know what? Bring it back. Make it an actual sketch comedy show. Get some actual comedy writers, and maybe it'll work. But it doesn't. It doesn't at all. Michael and Michael have issues, and they can't work through them because this was terrible. I wanted to jump out the window. Seriously. I did not. No, this has to be the worst experience of going back and watching something I thought I liked. Like, at least with older shows that I used to watch, like Thundercats, I could say, falling asleep watching them is better than wanting to jump out the window because it's so bad. I absolutely never want to see this show again. I can't believe I was ever interested in this. I don't know. It was just... And 7 episodes compared to the 6 that Secret Girlfriend had. But the thing is, I recently watched Secret Girlfriend. And that was 6 episodes. And that felt like it went really fast. I recently watched it. Like, it went really fast. It was on episode 6. I'm like, already? This was 7 episodes. And it felt like it took forever. One more episode. One episode only. There was one episode more. And it still felt like forever. I couldn't. No. I wanted to jump out the window. Yeah. Yeah. So have you seen Michael Have Issues? What are your thoughts on it? In the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Friday review coming sometime this week, hopefully. And then, I don't know. I really don't have concrete plans. Maybe continue my series on the WWE draft. I'm on 2005. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to work around it because, that was several weeks. I just had to, look up what happened, I guess, and write some stuff down and kind of go by that. But that's not set in stone either. But, yeah. So, thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.